You're live. Go.
Oh, okay. Tom says, you're live. Go. Just sitting here, just looking. Hi, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. I'm Tami. I'm the creator of the blog and this YouTube channel called Nutmeg Notebook. And my husband, Tom, who is setting up.
I'm still setting up. I'm not done setting up. Okay. This is a bright color right here. Can I move this?
Is that bothering you?
Yeah.
It's my water.
I'll put it over here.
Anyway, we're whole food plant-based in case you're joining us for the first time. And no oil, no sugar, and very low sodium. And we share recipes. This is our Sunday live show that we do. And we hope that you'll enjoy it. We're glad that you're joining us today on Mother's Day, our first Mother's Day for sheltering in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's a little crazy, don't you all think? It was a different kind of Mother's Day for us. Hey, babe, you gonna join me?
Yeah, I'm gonna get on.
This is Tom.
I think I have everything hooked up.
Y'all let us know if something's not right.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay. They'll let us know as well.
All right.
And we have our moderators here.
Yeah, Jesse is here, and Jesse will be helping us to watch out for any silly trolls. And she knows how to take them out.
You want to tell them if they have questions, what you'd like them to do?
Well, sure, now that you've prompted me. If you have a question for Tami, please do. Or if you have a question for me, I'll do my best to answer it. Give us 4 question marks before, and then ask your question, then give me 4 question marks afterwards. That way it really jumps out at me in the chat feed so that I can catch it and we can get you an answer.
Yeah. So we don't really have a, like usually we have a theme or I have some material that I want to share with you.
Today was a play day since it's Mother's Day. And so we've been out playing.
I just needed to go for a drive so bad. We've been so good about sheltering in place and staying home and only going out if we, need to go to the store. And today I told Tom, I just really need to go for a drive. So he got on the internet and figured out a beautiful drive because I love to go to the mountains. I love the foothills. I just like green and trees. And so he took us for a lovely drive. And there was a lot of people that decided to get out and go for a drive today. So, coming down some of those winding roads, there was a lot of traffic and it went slow. So we were late getting home today and we were late getting started. For those of you who are new, our show usually starts at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Sundays. And we try to go live every Sunday. And then in between, we post videos and recipes and such. So we did have a couple of questions that came in on Facebook and maybe one on Facebook and one on email. And so we'll answer those. And I did post last week on my Facebook page that I'm no longer going to be able to answer private messages because what happens is we get a lot of the same questions repeatedly. And so that it takes a lot of time to sit down and type out answers individually. So in talking with other YouTubers and bloggers, I discovered what people do is they collect up those questions and then they answer them on either a live or on a blog post in order to reach more people with the answer.
With all the same questions.
Yeah, because, if you have the question, chances are somebody else has that same question. And that way maybe I can answer that and solve a problem for more people. So first up was a question from Sam who said they remembered seeing, and I don't know if Sam was male or female because it could be either. So I'm sorry, I don't know which gender. But Sam said that in one of our videos, they heard us talking about some kind of a mat for the Breville Smart Oven Air, which is right behind me over here, over my right shoulder. And that is an convection oven. It also is a broiler. You can bake in it, and it's an air fryer. It has a proofing cycle. It does a lot of things. We love it. We've had ours for 3 years. We use it every day. The main thing is I love it for air frying. What we did discover is that the racks for the air frying function are really difficult to clean. And so our friend Shada discovered some, they were called cookie
Barbecue or crispy cooker.
crispy cookie mats, but they're
Crispy cooker mat.
crispy cooker mats, but they are often sold out on Amazon. So we found another product that is the same material. So, but it's these grill mesh mats, they're called. Sorry, we're plant-based, but it does have food, meat plastered right on the front of it. But in this package, you get 2 of the black ones, and then you get 1 of the beige ones. And they're all the same material.
And what's great about the black ones is they always stay clean.
So
the black ones stay clean a lot longer than the beige ones.
Well, the black ones do stay looking nicer longer, because when stuff gets kind of burnt on to this and it's black and you scrub it, you know, you never get it totally clean. So it comes like this, and then you'll just want to trim it like Tom did. He just trimmed it so that it would fit the racks for air frying.
Yeah, you trim them to fit any air fryer.
You can, yeah, any air fryer. It doesn't have to be the Breville. You can use these. People use these in, you know, the countertop egg-shaped ones as well. So what it does is it gives you a nice kind of a non-stick type surface that helps keep the food from sticking to the metal rack, and it just makes cleanup easier. And another thing we have found, if you take the rack, you know, as soon as it's cooled off, if you take it and put it in the sink in some hot soapy water and let it soak for 10 or 15 minutes, then it's so much easier to clean. And if you clean it right then, you know, don't air fry the stuff on it. The next time you air fry, go ahead and clean it, and then it's much easier to keep it nice looking and clean. And this rack is not 3 years old. This is an extra rack. We ordered some extra racks because you can also dehydrate in it, and you can do 2 racks of food in the air fryer, but you do have to switch them halfway through. And we just found that we prefer doing 1 rack at a time. So anyway, I have one nice rack that I can show you that always looks good. So Tom will link to these. We have these on our Amazon page. We have an Amazon shop page where we have like most of the fun stuff that we like to use in the kitchen. We have listed on there. We also have some things that are great that we have discovered for the grandkids. And what else? Oh, some of our hiking, camping stuff that we like is on our Amazon page. And when you use our affiliate link, we do get a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. So, and we take those funds and, you know, we buy things like these really cool cordless mics and camera stands and stuff like that, so that we can produce better quality videos. Hello?
I've got the mat link on there for people that want to find those. And actually, those are one of the most consistent items that people pull as a kitchen accessory off the blog or off the Amazon page. And I've never gotten a complaint back, because we have had a lot of emails about people struggling with cleaning their their baskets for their air fryers. But we sell some of those mats practically every single day, so people are liking them. Mm-hmm.
They're wonderful.
So that link is in the show notes.
In the show notes,
and also you can find them on our page.
On our Amazon
And then I
page.
also put that Gravity Electric, we're grinding black cumin in it. Mm-hmm. And you had me put that in the show notes too, so don't forget to talk about it, because I put it in the show notes.
Okay.
Because you told me you wanted me to.
Oh, well, then I said, oh, I probably won't talk about it today.
I didn't.
But that's okay.
I wasn't fully listening. I didn't hear that part. I just had it in my head.
Well, I'll grab it. Okay. Now they're all going to go, well, what's he talking about?
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
All right,
you talk to them for a minute while I get it.
I'm going to come over here to comments, because I've been working over on the other side.
Okay.
Will we do any dehydrating videos? We probably should. We do have an Excalibur dehydrator, and We went through a binge session of making these dehydrated oat cookies on there that were like made of oats and bananas and some cinnamon. Very, very simple, very basic ingredients. And I don't know that we ever did a video on that. We should do a video on that. The particular model of air fryer from Breville that we have also has a dehydrate function. So a number of you do have the Breville, and so there's an opportunity to dehydrate there as well.
What was the question?
Have we done, or we should do a video on dehydrating?
Oh, well, we did a video on the cookies
Did we
and
do
the
one
granola.
on the
So, yeah, so there's a video.
It's going to be back in the library, so if they...
Wasn't that long ago, the video and a blog post on the blog. So you use our, the quinoa banana oat muffin mix that, I show you how you can mix that up and have it, the dry ingredients prepared ahead of time. And I use that to make granola, dehydrated granola, and some dehydrated cookies. Okay, so then another question had come from Fran, and it is about kombu. And so, what is kombu, you're asking? So I think I mentioned it.
Didn't you mean to ask that? What is kombu?
Yeah, you should ask that. How good of you to ask, honey.
There's no script. And there's no...
prompter.
There's no prompter.
Well, that's what we need next. We need a prompter.
Okay.
So kombu is pretty much, it's just dried seaweed. And if you look on the blog for the black beans cooked in a crock pot in a slow cooker, I use kombu in it. And somebody noticed that when I created the recipe for making black beans or pinto beans in the Instant Pot, my recipe didn't include kombu. And the reason was I was trying to find organic kombu, and I was unable to find any. And so I didn't include it in the recipe. But since then, I have talked to my friend Nick from Local Spicery, and we have a video all about Local Spicery, and he is a spicerer. And so we were talking about, I was asking him about kombu, if it was possible to get organic kombu. And he said no, he didn't know of any sources for organic. But if you buy the kombu, the dried seaweed that comes from Maine, it's very high quality. Of course, it's non-GMO. Of course, they can't say that it's organic, but he said that's where they source theirs, because in their depth seasoning that they have, they include...
Which is what you also call, it's an umami?
It's for an umami. This is an umami seasoning, and that is just a deep, dark, earthy flavoring. And they include kombu in this, and the kombu that they get comes from Maine. And so I did see that there is a source for it on Amazon. I didn't have time to go through and choose one to order yet, but I will do that. So in their seasoning, it's called Depth, D-E-P-T-H, from Local Spicery. This has in it onion, long pepper, kombu, porcini, mushrooms, tomato, and the onion and the long pepper are organic that are in it. And so this is good for soups and stews and gravy and cooking beans. And I haven't tried it in my black bean or pinto bean recipe yet. But since I found this out from him, I will be doing that. And so I'll read to you what Cooks Illustrated says about using the kombu. So let me just bring it up here on my phone. And also, first I'm going to read you the Washington Post had an article, and they said that kombu is known for reducing blood cholesterol and hypertension, which is really interesting. It's very high in iodine, which is important for thyroid functioning, which I know because I'm hypothyroid. So boy, do I need that. It helps carry oxygen to the cells, calcium, as well, and it's high in vitamin A and C. And let's see, they say that it is kind of a sea cabbage, but otherwise known as seaweed, a natural flavor enhancer that offers huge benefits for its tiny size. And it's one of the most abundant food families on earth, yet it is surprisingly underused in American cuisine. But, the Asians use it a lot in their seasonings and creating sauces. And it's a wonderful flavor enhancer. So Cooks Illustrated, who is known to do wonderful things in their test kitchen, and they test things like to the nth degree. And so they said, it has been reported that the kombu helps with breaking down the enzyme in beans that causes a lot of gas. And so although they couldn't test that, what they did test is what did it do for the beans. So I'll read to you what they said that they did. They found that the dried kelp, or kombu, can be used to deepen flavor in non-traditional applications like vegetable soup, tomato sauce, when small amounts of it are added to the pot with the liquid ingredients, or with the tomatoes when you're making a pasta sauce. So that would be kind of fun to try a little bit of it in my marinara sauce, because people are reporting that they're really enjoying my classic marinara. And so it says to use a 2 by 2 inch piece of kombu in those applications. But then they also, I got to go to the other article. They also tried it in cooking beans. Let's see. And what they discovered was that it does add a salty flavor because it's naturally has sodium in it. But they found that when they took pinto beans and soaked them in like a brine solution overnight and then cooked them the next day versus just putting dried beans that hadn't been soaked in a pot with a piece of kombu, that the ones that they cooked with the kombu came out very similar in fashion. And so they put them in the pot directly with the seaweed, and they were nearly as tender as the beans that they had soaked overnight. And so they say in 4 quarts of water, simmer 1 pound of beans. They put a tablespoon of salt. I wouldn't put any. And then 1 piece of a 3 by 5 inch.
Tablespoon of.
Can you
Wow.
imagine?
Oh my!
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
And 1 3 by 5 inch strip of kombu, and then cook until tender. And so we do find that when I use the kombu in the beans, that it does give it a nice salty flavor, and we just really like it. So
Fran says thank you so much for answering her question.
You're
She's
welcome. You're welcome.
On the live with us.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, that I'll tell you that that Google is my favorite encyclopedia. So whenever I have like a computer question, and I'll ask either my son or our son-in-law, because they both are computer guys. And one time our son-in-law said, "Tammy, I'm going to tell you something." Oh, he likes to call me Tammy Lynn because that's my middle name. He said, "I want to tell you something." He said, "If you have that question, somebody else has already had that question and they've Googled it. And so if you Google it, you'll find the answer." And so I like to Google things and do a little bit of research before I try to answer you guys.
And if it seems like a strange answer, then we double Google it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to check your sources and, don't take the first thing that you read. Like, I never take anything for face value that I just find on Facebook. I always want to go and do my own research first. So anyway, I will be looking for a source for this from Maine. And when I get it settled on one, then I will post that on my Amazon page. They do sell some of the kombu at like Whole Foods and at health food stores, but usually the source is from China. So, and unfortunately that's where this came from, was from China. So any other questions on there, Tom?
I'm
before we
cruising. Before I
move
was
on to
busy,
the-
since we got such a late start, I didn't have all of the informational stuff in the body of the YouTube information, so I was busy doing my homework there. So I'm just now catching up with what's going on with you guys on the chat feed here.
Okay, so then I wanted to, are you going to look for
You have
any-
lots of Mother's Day wishes from
Oh, thank you,
lots
and
of
happy
folks.
Mother's Day to all of you. And I want to know, like, what did you do today? How was this different than your other Mother's Day? I can't even talk today.
You are having a problem talking today.
I am. I've just been too quiet today or something. I don't know. I'm having trouble.
She's been too quiet.
You don't think I've been quiet today? Okay.
Okay.
You're not winning brownie points for that.
I'm sorry. I've been nice all day.
You've been nice all day. You have.
All right.
So it's crazy. So I wanted to talk to you guys about the black cumin seeds. So,
And it doesn't taste like cumin. I don't know why they named it
oh,
that.
it does. It tastes like a cross between black pepper and cumin.
Okay.
To me.
A scientific name, Nigella sativa. That's what it is, Nigella sativa.
Well, read them what it says there.
Okay, protein, unsaturated fat, and dietary fiber, as well as vitamins B and E and iron, are just a few of the nutrients Nigella sativa, commonly known as black seeds, contain. Black seeds have a rich history of usage in Indian and Arabian civilizations as a food and a medicine. They are traditionally used in Ayurveda as a treatment for many ailments and used as a spice in Indian and Middle Eastern cuisine. Black seeds are also a delicious topping for flatbread, salads, and vegetables. And I have been sprinkling them on my vegetables, steamed vegetables.
Yeah, I've been putting them on my salad. So
What are you going to demonstrate this grinder into?
my hand.
Okay, and then what are you going to do with that?
I'm going to lick it.
Okay.
Because it's Mother's Day and I can do whatever I want. So I learned about them from Dr. Greger's book, the How Not to Diet book. It took a while to find a source on Amazon. We do have these on our Amazon page. Did you link to these? You did. You already said you did. So it took...
Well, I linked to the grinder, not the seeds.
Oh,
do I
well,
need to link those too?
Yes.
Okay, I'll find them.
Because it took a lot of search to find something that was non-GMO, that was USDA organic, and you also don't want to just find one on, do you remember? Like a lot of people said there were dead bugs in the ones that they got.
I read the reviews of like 3 or 4 different brands, and there was a lot of bad reviews. Mm-hmm. We went with this one, and this one wasn't without a bad review, but this was a brand that we've gotten other products from.
That we've been happy
with. And so, and I got the bag and I opened it and I immediately did a close inspection for dead bug bodies. I did not see any. And if I can't see them, then they're small enough to go through the grinder.
Oh, please.
And they just add nutritional value.
Oh, that kind of makes me sick. Okay. I don't want bugs to be in it. Okay, but this is organic and non-GMO. And so what he says is that black cumin is not actually related to cumin. Do you say cumin or cumin? I don't know which is proper. Anyway, it's a member of the buttercup rather than the carrot family, also known as Nigella sativa or simply black seed. It's a common spice whose peppery, see, I told you it tasted peppery, flavor is popular in Indian and Middle Eastern cuisines, but it's also been prized for its purported medical benefits. Described as a miracle herb with mentions going back to the Old Testament. Black cumin was found in King Tut's tomb, and the Prophet Muhammad evidently is quoting as saying it could heal every disease except death. Only in the last 50 years or so has it been put to the test, though, culminating in more than 1,000 papers published in the medical literature. Typical doses used in studies are just 1 or 2 grams a day, which is only about 1/4 of a teaspoon. This enables researchers to perform randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trials by stuffing the whole food spice into capsules rather than using just a component or an extract of it. Systematic reviews and meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials have found that daily black cumin consumption significantly improves cholesterol, triglycerides, blood pressure, and blood sugar control. Some of the results have been quite extraordinary. For example, one study found that menopausal women randomized to a gram a day, less than a quarter of a teaspoon of black cumin powder, reduced their bad LDL cholesterol by 27% within just 2 months. So, and it says that's the kind of result you'd expect taking a statin drug, but it was achieved with just a sprinkle of a spice. Black cumin may also help with menopausal symptoms themselves. And I know I've seen some questions on Facebook lately. People have been asking if a whole food plant-based diet can help women going through menopause. Now, taking black cumin didn't cure anything. A month after stopping the spice, their cholesterol levels crept back up. But it does appear to be a cheap, safe, effective, and tasty, if you like spice, treatment for some of our deadliest risk factors. And the side effects? Loss of appetite and weight loss. Bingo! A recent systematic review and meta-analysis of randomized controlled weight loss trials found that about a quarter teaspoon of black cumin powder every day appears to reduce body mass index within a span of a couple of months. If it's truly so beneficial to so many facets of health, why don't we hear more about it? Why wasn't I taught about it in medical school? Maybe because there's little profit involved. Black cumin is just a spice, and the daily dose used in most of these studies would cost about 3 cents. So isn't that amazing? So if you're new to our channel, then you may not know that one of the reasons I adopted a whole food plant-based diet in the beginning was because my LDL cholesterol had kept climbing, and my physician had told me if this pattern continues, eventually we'll have to put you on a statin. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I still, I still have. Did everybody get to see what it was, and you posted it?
Well, you held it up,
In
right?
case?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
hope
put
so.
it. This is now in the description down below. You would have to refresh your browser to see that because it won't appear on what you had there before. So I added the link for that.
And
in
is
there.
it on our Amazon page too?
I think I hit influencer. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I added it to the list.
And so, and you know, the first year it went down really, like I can't remember how much it dropped, 30 points or more. At one point, I think it dropped down to like 99. But the last year, it had gone back up again. Not a lot, and I don't eat any cholesterol. And I eat very low fat diet. But a lot of factors can affect LDL cholesterol, stress, chronic pain, not sleeping good. I mean, there's all kinds of things. And also my triglycerides tend to run high. So I was really happy to read about cumin because it's not that expensive. It tastes delicious. So this is a battery operated grinder. So you just turn it upside down and you get, are we having trouble with
No,
that?
I had set my timer for a battery check.
Okay.
I'm just
And
checking batteries.
I don't know if they can see this. I guess they can. And it looks like,
Up a little higher, up closer.
It
Sit
looks-
up, sit up because I check your battery anyway.
okay, check my battery. And it looks like black pepper. And it tastes delicious. So I love it on my vegetables. I like it on mashed potatoes. Want to taste?
I'll take it from you.
Okay. It's so good. Don't waste it because it's so good. He's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Now we're gonna have black stuff in our teeth.
And I've been putting it on my chopped salads as well. So it tastes really good. So it's a little tiny seed. Oh, maybe I should take some out of the bag and show them out of the bag what it looks like. I have not seen it in any stores. You know, we do have some stores that sell some bulk spices, but I have never seen it. So it looks like little mouse turds is what it looks like. You can see. That's
Closer.
what it looks
Up
like.
higher and closer, up higher.
Closer, higher. That's what it looks like. Okay. But I'm like,
Here,
we've been, okay, I'll just put it back in there. We've been using it for, I don't know, a month or longer, maybe.
Okay.
And I love it. And I really like, Tom found this grinder and I love it. So it's just so easy to do. You just turn it upside down.
You tip it and it starts
you
grinding.
tip it and it starts grinding. And you can put it, like I put it in my soup.
And it's lit. Here.
Oh yeah, it lights up too, which is really cool.
We've wasted enough of this. Okay. Next subject.
He really loves it. He really loves it.
Okay.
He likes gadgets. And if I say, oh, I wonder if you could find this on Amazon. Boy, he goes and orders it right away because he loves little gadgets.
Okay. I must have bumped the mouse. Where was I?
Okay, so has anyone else started using the black cumin? And I'd be interested in knowing.
We'll have to catch up.
I'm curious to, see what effect it will have on me. And the other thing that we're doing is at my last physical, which was just a couple months ago in January, I found out that my vitamin D was extremely low. It was an 8, and they never want it to go below a 25. So I have been on a regimen of a prescription of a really high dose of vitamin D, and I was experiencing like a lot of fatigue, and I'm usually mood swings. Gee, did you see how quickly he added that to the mix? I'm the kind of person that wakes up early in the morning and like wants to jump right out of bed and get started, and I can hardly, keep myself from starting to talk about scheduling our day while we're still laying in bed. And Tom's like, let me wake up first. But I was getting so I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. And so that was good to find that out. It was like, oh, that's what's going on. Okay. And so I am starting to feel better, and I will be retested. I've just gone to a lower dose of vitamin D, and I'll be retested in June, I think it is. And so we'll see what happens there. So.
Question.
Yes.
In your opinion, is the cumin from local spicery any better or different than what you would get at Penzeys?
I've never used Penzeys, so I cannot say, and I don't know.
That's from MG.
Okay, so I know I like Penzeys, and I do order some things from Penzeys. And when we were over in Santa Rosa, California in December, we did go to Penzeys, and I bought quite a few things. I know that local spicery, there's the spices that they grind, they only do enough for
Small
batches for 3 months at a time. And so you always know when you're buying their spices, they're never older than 3 months.
Yeah, Penzeys does have a high quality reputation.
They do.
And pricing to go with it. And,
yes.
And local spiceries high quality with appropriate, pricing to go with that as well. So
exactly. So I can't answer you because I've never bought the cumin from Penzeys, but the difference between the cumin from local spicery and the cumin that we buy that's also organic, but in a big bottle, in a big jar of it from Sam's Club, there's a big difference in the flavor.
Yes. Mary Jo is asking, your hair might be long enough to try an updo.
Well, funny that you should say that because Friday, I think.
You pulled it up yesterday, yeah.
Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was it Friday I did that? Yeah, I did pull it up. The back, because this is a bob, the bottom is short, the bottom layer is short. And so the bottom layer isn't long enough to pull up.
All right. Okay, Mary Jo, what should I do? I'm developing these tufts. I'm getting these little tufts of white fluff here on the left and on the right. And I combed them and they just want to like go straight out. So
no, it's staying down.
Well,
I think it's looking good, actually. Just the one day that you didn't put any gel in it, he looked like Einstein, because it just like, whew, he went outside and it was a little windy that day, and he was just like, his hair was clear out to here. It was like, okay, you've got to keep gel on it to keep it down. So yeah, it's crazy.
Okay,
it is crazy.
I'm back on. Okay, here's another question from Lori. Where do you buy kombu? Is that the main ingredient of the kombucha drinks I see bottled in the cooler section of the markets?
No, that is something different.
So we buy our kombu from?
Well, this I had bought from Whole Foods, but it's from China. And Nick said, no.
Does he have kombu for sale, or does he swear?
No, he buys it. They buy it from. You missed this when I was talking about it.
Okay, if you covered it, that's fine.
They buy it from Maine, and so
you don't want Fukushima.
You don't want Fukushima
kombu,
which is why I'm not using this. Which is why I didn't include it in my last bean recipe. So he has it in his depth flavoring, and I'm gonna ask him, like, if when I do my beans, how much of this would I use? But you can buy it on Amazon, and you want it to be sourced from Maine, because Maine is clean. The source that he found, he said, was good, and if it comes from Maine, then it's okay to use.
It's on the other side of the planet.
Even though it doesn't say, he's like, you're not going to find one that says organic.
Okay.
And so, so you could look at your health food store and see if your health food store carries it, or if you have an Asian market, doubtful that they have one that comes from Maine. Probably everything that they have will be from Asia, but we will find. I did look on Amazon earlier today, and there are some sources from Maine. I just didn't have time to go through and figure out who had the best price. So I want to do that.
That's something you're going to be looking at.
So it's something I'll be looking at, and then just be checking our Amazon page, and I'll post on Amazon.
Comment for you.
I'll post on. I'll put it on our Amazon page, and I can post it on Facebook when we find a source.
Jacqueline Torres says, hello. Her husband and herself started eating plant-based 2 weeks ago, and we feel so much better. The inflammation in my body has gone down and pinched nerve pain gone. I experienced that dramatically with my back pain and my knee pain. We talked about that on an earlier live show, but yeah, it was a huge. And I've been doing a large retaining wall project here at home the last few days. A whole pallet of blocks, like 144 blocks that weigh like 40 pounds a piece. And my wall is up and I feel fine. It didn't, I'm 66 years old and I can build walls.
Not quite, you're only 65.
In 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what month is this, May? In 3 weeks, I'm 66.
But you're not there yet.
I'm rounding by 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, so congratulations for choosing a whole food plant-based diet. That's fantastic.
And you'll continue to feel better
and
feel stronger.
You will continue to feel better. I had osteoarthritis in my knees really bad. And I was like to the point where it was painful to try to go upstairs or hike or anything. And now, I can hike no problem. My knees don't hurt.
Yeah. Tiffany, one of our moderators, is asking, Tammy, what is your fondest Mother's Day memory?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I've had so many wonderful Mother's Day. I don't know. That's difficult.
Well,
probably the first one was like super memorable after we had our daughter. Because we had some.
Was your hibiscus for Mother's Day or was that for a birthday?
No, you gave that to Katie and I for Valentine's Day when I was pregnant with David.
Okay. All right.
No. But you gave me that little ruby, the one little ruby ring as a surprise one year for Mother's Day. And that
Yeah.
was really fun. So I don't know. I just, you know what? I don't have like a specific one. I loved all of the little things that the kids always made for me. And, you know, they would always help Tom make the Mother's Day very special. And so I don't have a specific
Because
one.
you've had 34 Mother's Days. Yeah, they might start running together.
Well, I don't want to say that they run together. I don't want to say that.
All right. Margot Tobias is commenting that she got onto the feed late because she also just got home from a Mother's Day drive. I don't know if you were here at the beginning. We started 15 minutes late because we just got home from our Mother's Day drive up in the Sierra Nevada foothills.
Yeah.
We found some roads we'd never been on before.
It was fun.
So
it just, you know, just seeing the green and the trees and
Chef AJ says, Happy
everything.
Mother's Day, Tammy. I just saw that because I'm catching up with the scroll.
Thank you, AJ. And you, Mama, you're the mama of Bailey, so happy Mother's Day back at you.
Okay.
And we got the letter that you sent us, so we want to talk to you about it, AJ.
Okay, I think, am I actually caught up to the bottom of the
Wow,
feed?
you could be.
I was kind of scanning quickly there. Tammy, this is from Tiffany. Do you think you and Tom will ever do a live while walking each morning? It looks beautiful. There is a couple of vehicles we've discussed doing little Instagram stories is one where you can do a short video that just goes out instantly to that group. And we have done, and not for a long time, but we've done a Facebook Live or two, like a year ago.
Walking.
And then YouTube now has a YouTube Stories, and really it's a matter of me understanding
How to use it.
these technologies and how they work.
And what's that TikTok?
And now our YouTube guides are telling us that we should be exploring TikTok and doing little 15-second little hello things to invite people to come onto the YouTube platform or the Facebook platform. So much technology and so little time to understand it all.
So we could do one on our walk.
Yeah, we could have maybe little 10 or 15 minute discussions while we're on that walk. There's a stretch of it that's through some nature and whatnot.
Yeah.
We do
Part
use
of it's in the neighborhood where we're just going by houses, and then there's a stretch of it where we're on a nature trail.
Yeah, and we'll use that time
nice.
to catch up on educational podcasts or videos, to chat with Tammy's mom. Last week we chatted with Chef AJ for about an hour on our walk.
Yeah, and Saturday I talked to Shada.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah, so we do use our walks for communicating, but we could expand that and communicate to everybody all at once. So YouTube Live doesn't work because you can't depend on the stream rate, through the telephone signal. We're on a high-speed land-based internet here, and that's why those other platforms, because they lower the resolution of the image so that the sound can come through. So. Okay, Lori Herman says local spicery has nigella, the black seed.
Oh, nice.
Chef AJ says it was 2 hours and 15 minutes. The part that I was on was only 1 hour. The rest of y'all kept talking. I had nothing to do with that.
I think you went to take a shower or something while her and I kept talking.
Okay.
It was fun. I like to use my time when I'm walking to catch up with my friends, though. I mean, that it's a good time to do it. It's
also where we chat and have our own strategy session on what we're going to do with the day, what we're going to do with the week, what video we're going to do next, and that sort of thing. So it's kind of planning time. Karen is asking, what do you use local spicery depth for? I have some, and so far all I've done is add it to some to your marinara sauce, which was delicious.
Oh, that's a really good idea. Yeah, you can add it to a gravy. You can add it to soups. You could sprinkle it over vegetables when you're water sauteing vegetables.
It's just going to add
add it to your beans when you're cooking beans.
Because it adds more depth, more of an earthiness, more of a natural or a mushroomy kind of.
I was going to say anything that you would like the mushrooms to be in. So I have an idea for a gravy that I'm going to use it in the gravy mix. But anything that you want that kind of earthy flavor to be in works good.
Okay, Jacqueline Torres, you should ask Tami your question again. Oh, here it is. Evidently, I missed a question up earlier.
Okay.
Thank you for re-asking. Tami, I love pancakes. What kind of pancakes can I make being plant-based? I'm not fond of bananas.
No, we use bananas in so many things. But instead of bananas, so I take my quinoa banana oat muffin mix and add some plant milk to it and mashed banana. But you could use applesauce.
Yeah.
Applesauce would work too, instead of banana. And or you could use mango. I'm trying to think if you could use sweet potato. So any kind of sweet potato that you have, you could use that instead of the banana because the texture, the moisture content, and the sweetness is about the same. So the reason we use banana is because it's naturally sweet, especially the more speckled you let it get, the sweeter it will be. But you could use sweet potato instead and then put oats in it and some plant milk, and you're going to need a little bit of baking powder because you want it to rise a little bit. I haven't published my pancake recipe yet, but I will. I actually wrote it down. That's a problem is in cooking, I'll just kind of cook intuitively, just put stuff together. And then when it turns out really good, I don't know exactly what I did. And so sometimes it's hard to go back and recreate the exact same thing. Okay. And it's hard to, like, sometimes it's like, I put in a banana, but I tell you guys a banana, but bananas can be little bananas or they can be big bananas. And, I'll just judge things by how soft it is or how moist it is. And then add more oats if it needs more oats. But I know a lot of people are not that kind of cook that can do that, and they need exact measurements. And so that's where it gets really tricky and really more difficult to nail down the recipe to make it that specific so that everyone can execute it without a problem.
She says, okay, thank you. She'll give that a try.
Yeah.
So we were going to chat just a little bit about the role that whoever is responsible for food prep in the household winds up incidentally taking on in our world the health responsibility for the family because of what they're being fed and what we've learned about. This started from our Mother's Day conversation this morning, that cooking in the kitchen isn't just cooking in the kitchen. It's affecting the health of the entire family, and to some degree our extended family even. So,
and even at this point, like when I went plant-based in 2013, which I'm celebrating 7 years because I went plant-based in the fall of 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like this time. It was in like the end of April. Mm-hmm. So this is like my 7-year anniversary.
Okay.
Having gone plant-based. But even though our kids were adults and not living in the house with us, just our lifestyle changes had a big impact on them. And I always felt, and they decided to go whole food plant-based as well. And they eat more like Engine 2 style though than we do because neither one of them have any health issues. Neither one of them are overweight. And they're not food addicts. And so they can eat a more rich, liberal diet. And, but it was really exciting for us that they decided to adopt it as well. And they did their own research because they're not ones to just, do something just because we did. But of course, if we hadn't started with that, they may not have decided to do it themselves. But one thing that I had realized, of course, years ago, was that I was the role model for the whole family. And because I was the one that did the shopping, the cooking, the meal planning, the executing of the meals, I realized that I had a huge responsibility in trying to make sure that the family was all eating in a healthy way. And I think that, that's true for all of us, and whether it's the mother or the father, because in some families I know that, it's the male figure that does most of the cooking, because not every woman has the schedule to allow her to do that or the desire to do it. But I felt like after I learned about whole food plant-based diet for myself, and then the more that I read, the more I realized that Tom really needed to eat this way as well, because his dad had 3 different types of cancer, and eventually, the cancer took him from us. And so I thought, well, if anybody needs to eat this way, it's this guy, because I want to keep him around for a long time. And so I really felt a big responsibility in getting him on board to eat the same way that I was. But, they say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So I just tried to be a good example. And
yeah, well, the role of mother got a promotion from just being the nurture and nourish to adding the family health component to it. So it was a promotion, and, and everybody won from that.
That's right. That's right.
So I think.
So do you guys feel that way too? Do you feel like, I always felt like I never wanted my kids to have food issues. I never wanted them, I never wanted my daughter to think, oh my gosh, I need to diet. Even though I was dieting, I was, gaining weight, losing weight, not on a diet or on a diet kind of thing. But, I always tried to serve balanced meals, what I thought were balanced meals using the standard American diet. But we did, I would say, a healthier version of the standard American diet. But I never wanted our kids to have an eating disorder or have any negative association with food or eating. And I didn't want to create good foods and bad foods and that kind of thing. And, and I certainly I didn't want them to suffer from being overweight and having the yo-yo dieting thing that I had. So I just always felt like it was kind of a big responsibility.
Lori Herman asked a question about, you use the phrase engine 2, and actually Jesse has answered it that it's plant strong as opposed to plant perfect. Esseltyn's talk about plant perfect, and engine 2 is plant strong, but not necessarily perfect under Esseltyn's parameters or what we learned from Chef AJ. I'm motioning at the book over there.
Is that what you're doing?
Or Chef AJ out there. So
we
plant strong may also use more whole food sweeteners like dried fruits, some salty substitutes like miso and low sodium soy or aminos, and we do avoid those in our Chef AJ educated plant perfect regimen, as opposed to the engine 2 plant strong.
And they use more flour, and they use flour tortillas, and more desserts and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
I started out. They got me off of my bad breakfast onto an engine 2 style breakfast before I converted to my pure oats and chia and.
And they still use bread. They eat bread and regular muffins and things like that, where we adhere more to the calorie density chart, and so we avoid the foods that are above 600 calories and up per pound of food and stick with more whole foods. So that would be like the bigger difference. And you know, our kids eat more. They eat more like pasta, and if we have pasta, it's either the zucchini noodles or a lentil noodle or a brown rice noodle.
Yeah.
And Tom would have more of that than I would.
And again, you learned all that by doing research, because originally when we started converting me to plant-based, I was using the Engine 2 breakfast, which included some...
like grape nuts kind of cereal.
well, yeah, grape nuts, and also the little wheat squares.
Shredded wheat.
Shredded wheat, not frosted, just plain shredded wheat. But as we learned more and more, and learned about processed foods and how they react and the flours that are in them and so forth, then I cut those out and started making my own recipe, which is even more simple, and it became even more delicious over time.
Yeah,
So
and I was,
as I moved away from the
cooking some
processed
of the.
stuff.
I was making some of the Engine 2 recipes then too. Mm-hmm. I was making some of their stuff.
So, but that flows back into, as you learned more as a nourish responsibility.
Well, I wanted
cook.
to make our foods more nutrient dense,
Yeah.
you know, and less calorically dense, but nutrient dense.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's affected a lot of members of the health of members of the family in a very positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I think we are.
And happily enough, too, our daughter is raising her 3 kids whole food plant-based as well.
Yeah,
And
Gina
so-
says that Engine 2 was her entry into SOS
Yeah,
eating.
and there's nothing wrong with it. If I could eat that liberally and maintain my weight and not have food cravings, I absolutely would. Because, you know, I mean, I love that food.
They were,
But
yeah, the Engine 2 cereal was a big improvement from my
Premier bar.
protein bars that I ate for
years.
65, like many years. I think I did the math once. I think I ate 2,000 of them over time.
Yeah, he used to eat this Premier protein bar every day for his breakfast, every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, we've come a
Because
long way.
on the theory that if I didn't, that they would keep me going, keep me not being hungry until lunchtime.
Right,
So I don't know. Well, there was a lot of chemicals in them.
there was.
So
Scary now.
we just cut those off.
But you know, when you know better, you can do better, and we know better now, so we do better. But that's just kind of how it goes.
Stephanie says that she got the best Mother's Day news. Her best Mother's Day news. Her husband's A1C went from 8.6 on the 14th of January down to 4.9.
Wow, that's
an amazing result.
Yeah.
And
Well, I would say it's typical.
And a typical result for plant-based.
Yeah, that's very typical for plant-based.
And
So
he's down
that is
32
wonderful.
pounds, yeah.
Congratulations. That is so exciting. Wow, and he's lost 32 pounds. That's fantastic.
Linda Fletcher just showed up. Okay.
Hi, Linda. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. It's been a really strange Mother's Day.
Okay. I gotta show you guys our vegetable garden, but I'm just gonna grab it and bring it over today, so I don't have to move the camera, because I can just pick that thing up and bring it over here.
Okay, why don't you?
I'm surprised at how much.
It's grown
This
so
growing.
much this past week.
Yeah.
I'm getting really excited. And Tom's...
I ate some dill because it was getting too tall.
No, did you really?
No, I ate. You know what? The dill sprouted up in the curly parsley.
Yeah, we had... I said, oh my gosh, I think we have 2 dill plants in there, because where the curly parsley was supposed to be, there was some dill coming out of there. And so Tom kind of plucked that out.
So now this is getting like really pretty.
Oh, it is. Look
This
at
should
that.
be on camera here, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
That's exciting.
Oh, that's my.
Very exciting. So we have dill here. We have 2 basil plants. What does it say? I can't read that one.
Well, you're not going to read
2
them.
basils, and this is thyme, and this is mint. I have to be careful with it. And this is curly parsley. This is chives, and this is, can you read it?
Parsnip.
That's Italian parsley. Parsnips.
It's not a parsnip.
not a parsnip.
This is
and then
hydroponic.
this is Thai basil. So that will be this will be really fun
Yeah.
to have as well. So I'm super excited. And it smells good too. So this is in our Aero garden. And how many weeks have we had this now?
I'm gonna have to read the meter when I get over there.
Okay, you read the meter and tell us how long we've had it. So we're super excited. And then we're getting ready to plant tomato plants, the little cherry tomatoes, because, you know, we eat a ton of those with the salads that we have every day.
Just 24 days.
So 24 days.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good for 24 days because, you know, it started out as just little seeds. So that's pretty exciting. So I could show them. Do you guys want to see what I batch cooked yesterday? Because I did my batch prep yesterday because my rule for Mother's Day is always that I don't do work on Mother's Day. So I don't do laundry. I try to minimally cook. I try to just, you know, it's like my one day a year that... What?
Jessie thought we were going to go outside to the garden. Oh. She forgot about the hydroponics. I'm sorry, I started laughing.
It's so disappointing. No, we don't have an outside garden, but we are going to have tomato plants.
If I achieve some big, beautiful cherry tomato bushes, I will show you those. They're still in the pots from the store right now.
Well, we did one of our shows out on the patio one time.
Okay, we've been on for an hour. So what are you doing now?
I was just going to show them a little bit of what I batch prepped this week. I did post it on Facebook, on Nutmeg Notebook on Facebook. Oh, you guys hit like if you're liking the video, and be sure and share it and subscribe and hit the bell.
I gotta adjust the camera. You're off screen.
Am I off screen?
Yeah, let me.
No, I'm not. I'm on. You mean my head's cut off?
Yeah.
Because I'm standing up. Okay, so I did post on Facebook. So I did batch cooking yesterday. So those of you who are new to our channel, batch cooking is just making more food than you can eat in a day. So this is quinoa, otherwise known as Mexican quinoa. So we have a YouTube video and a blog post on how to make the quinoa in a pressure cooker. And it's wonderful. So you can have it over a chopped salad. You can eat it cold. You can eat it hot. You can add salsa to it. You can add my cheese sauce to it. It's really great.
Okay, I guess tell Jessie. She says, "Oh my God, that fridge overwhelms me every time you show it to us. I feel so inadequate." Sigh. This is the day after batch cooking day. So I mean, we're Sunday, and so she cooks Friday. We shop Thursday. She cooks Friday.
No, I cooked Saturday.
Saturday, and so this, and then it just gets empty as we go through next week. So at the end of the week, it's looking pretty sparse. It just happens to be the front end of the week right now. It's really
full. So we have all of our salads here that I batch prep, and we have a video and a blog post on how to do that. And then this is Tom's rice, and he batch cooks his rice and then puts it in these containers, and we freeze it.
That's my last one too. I got to make more.
Well, and then we need to videotape it.
Tuesday.
And then we bought a great big watermelon at Costco, and so you know, I only cut enough for a few days, and then when this is gone, then I'll cube some more of it. I have Tom has just a little bit of cheese sauce left, and so I didn't make any cheese.
That one's mine. It's got my name on it.
It has your name on it. And so I didn't make cheese sauce. I ran out of time yesterday, and I thought, well, he can wait till Tuesday because I'll have time Tuesday to make more. And then we have potatoes. So I have the Yukon Golds, and I didn't do a lot because we didn't eat very many of them last week. And then this is our Japanese sweet potatoes and Hana yams. And this is how we store them upright in the containers without a lid on them. Because if you put a lid on them, they're going to get soggy. So we'll just put these things back. And then this is my oat groats. I have a little bit of my homemade salsa in there still. I'm going to turn these back around. Then these are roasted mini sweet peppers. And I have a blog post all about that on the blog. And oh, these are so delicious. If you ever make them for a party or company, if we ever get to have a party or company again, they go like crazy because they're so delicious. So they're good hot right out of the oven, or they're good cold like this. And I like to add them to my salads, to beans. I'll just have them as a side dish. They can be breakfast, they can be a snack. They get incredibly sweet when you roast them, and they're so delicious. And then I also did Brussels sprouts. This is just one of those 2-pound bags from Costco. Oh, one stuck to the lid. And I dusted them. I cut them in half. I trim them, you know, cut them in half. And then I put a little bit of onion powder and garlic powder on them. And then a little bit of California balsamic vinegar. So like the Simply Lemon is really delicious. And just a couple tablespoons, toss them, and then spread them out on a baking sheet, 400 degrees, for about 45 minutes. And I don't stir them or anything. You could, but you know, once I get them going, then I don't do.
Gina wants you to do batch cam.
I don't do anything. Batch cam. And then corn on the cob. And we cook this in the pressure cooker, and we have a video on how to do that. And then, you know, we'll just cut that off the cob to add to our salads or Nourish Bowl, or we'll eat it on the cob with a veggie burger or a plate of steamed veggies. And this is a little bit of mashed potatoes that we still have left. And so this is a good start to the week. And then, of course, our salads. And I just feel so good. And now I don't remember where I pulled this out from. You've got to be so intentional when the refrigerator is so full. I know that's not how I had it. I think I had it up there.
Tiffany Wilkerson starting a new hashtag refrigerator goals.
Refrigerator what?
Refrigerator goals.
Oh, there you go. Well, so here's the thing. If your refrigerator is full of healthy food, you're going to eat healthy food. And if it's full of food that has to be prepped and cooked every day, then I'm less likely at 5:30 to decide that I'm going to start cooking something, you know? And so I have just found that if I have everything prepped, then we'll just eat something simple that's already made, because that's the easiest thing. And you know, Doug Lyle says that we are programmed.
The Brussels sprouts were underneath the watermelon.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I usually take a picture of it, so I know how it all goes back
There'll
together.
There'll be a test next week on where stuff goes in the refrigerator.
Well, I lose track of when, especially as I'm pulling multiple things out, I lose track. How did I have it all in there?
I do get a number of emails from the husbands and wives, but a surprising number from husbands asking us what this model number of this refrigerator is. Which it's a GE 28 cubic feet. There's a lot of variations of this. That's ours is the GES series with the water dispenser on the front.
And we love it. It's the best refrigerator we have ever had.
It's noisy. It makes all kinds of bumps and grinds.
It does make some noise.
Because it's got a lot of
But not all the time. Just sometimes. Not all the time.
Yeah.
But sometimes, and the ice maker makes quite a bit of noise. And we don't use the ice maker a whole lot, but because typically we don't like ice in our
Not in the winter.
water.
I've been using it more recently in
your thermos.
Yeah.
Thing? Yeah. So, but it is the best refrigerator. Now, it is deep. It's a deep refrigerator. That's why we can fit so much stuff in it.
This same exact refrigerator comes in a 22 cubic feet model.
That they have at Costco.
And it looks identical, but yeah, it doesn't stick
not
out
as
as far. So if you have space to go deep, I mean, we're even out from this wall a little bit, but we looked at them and it's like, yeah, no, we need the big one, because we wanted to keep this space, usable.
Yeah, but also know that we have another refrigerator in the garage. And how big is that one? Do you know? Is it as big as this one?
I don't know.
I don't know. I have to look on it. But it's set up.
It might
very
be a 20.
similar.
It might be a 25 cubic. It's not as.
It's not as big.
No, it's a little bit smaller.
So when we get home from doing our grocery shopping, then everything goes into the refrigerator in the garage. And in this refrigerator, we try to keep everything that is already prepped, except in the crisper drawers. In the crisper drawers, then we have, things that we will just cook daily, like broccoli and, some carrots and apples and things like that. We'll keep in the crisper drawer in here, but we try to keep all the prepped food in here, and notice everything's in glass containers so that we can see what we have when we open up the refrigerator. That way you're not having to just like randomly open up a bunch of containers trying to find, what is there to make a meal out of. So that's what works for us. And also remember, we've been doing this now for 7 years. So we have a method, we have a rhythm to it. We figured out.
We even commented a few weeks, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were doing our cooking routine, and it's almost like the moving around, the island in the middle and the stove over there, and then the pressure pot's lined up over there. And we're able to move back and forth doing our tasks, our individual tasks, without crashing into each other. It's like we'll meet and we'll just do this pivot and turn and spin, and it's like this, and it's like
a dance.
It's like a kitchen dance, yeah. So
it's like it's choreographed.
So a couple of questions here for you.
Yes.
Well, first of all, Buff Bar says that you two are so delightful. You make me smile. Thank you for spending time with us, and happy Mother's Day to Tami. So
thank you, very sweet of you. Thank you.
Along with the many other Mother's Day well wishes.
And
earlier.
the same to all of you as well.
Lord.
And even if you don't have children, if you nurture anyone, then you're a mother. If you have furry kids, pets, then you're a mother. If you have nieces and nephews and you mother them, you're a mother.
So
happy Mother's Day.
Lori Herman says, Tami, do you eat in a formal dining room or mostly right here in the kitchen? There's a question.
Well, I love to eat outside. And like at lunch today, Tom was like, do you want to go watch something while we eat? And I said, no, I want to go outside. I want to sit on the patio and eat outside. So I love to do that. I typically don't eat breakfast, so Tom eats breakfast usually when you're watching TV.
Kitchen and news or in front of the computer.
Yeah, or while he's on the computer, or if he eats after we go for our morning walk. If I'm puttering in the kitchen, then he'll sit in here and but we have developed a really terrible habit of we have a game room
and we do
upstairs.
have a formal dining room.
We do.
Which gets used only on some holidays.
Yeah, and our family's too big to use it now.
Yeah.
And so rarely do we eat in the kitchen together because we've developed a terrible habit of watching TV while we eat.
It's not a terrible habit.
It's not?
No, we have that. I have that salad. We have that big, beautiful Nutmeg Notebook chopped salad. She eats hers for lunch. I eat mine for dinner. Then it takes a good 40 minutes or so to graze on that thing until it's gone. And I don't want to rush that. I want to enjoy every bite. And that's just enough time for on Hulu or Netflix to watch a TV show that was an hour on broadcast TV, but minus the commercials, it's only 40 minutes. So I can enjoy an entire episode of something.
But I just told you, today at lunch, what I tell you.
Oh, no, you wanted to go eat. It's beautiful weather right now.
Yeah,
we did, and it was great, and it was lovely.
Because I told you I don't enjoy my food as much when we're watching, because I'm distracted by what we're watching, and so I don't enjoy. I'm not as conscious about what I'm eating, I don't think. I'm
thinking I get to eat this wonderful bite, and I get to watch that interesting program. It's like double pleasure.
Okay.
Why, if you can have double pleasure, then why wouldn't you? I don't know.
Okay. So and it's something that we never did when we were raising our kids. We always sat at the table.
Yeah.
We didn't have the TV on. We didn't have the radio on. When cell phones came into play, everybody had to turn their phones off during dinner. Yeah. And, we would sit and visit with one another and have wonderful family meals. And so now our kids are like, oh yeah, so now it's okay to eat in front of the TV.
So good question. We do eat outside. I'll go outside for breakfast. We both went outside today, and we've done that several times recently this spring.
Yes, when the weather's nice. It will get too hot here we're in Northern California and it will get too hot here this summer to be able to eat outside. And that's why I want to do it now, because I want to take advantage of the nice weather. And we have a beautiful setting because we're right next to a duck pond. And so, it's a gorgeous setting. So why wouldn't you want to sit out there and enjoy it?
Randy is here now. Randy, one of our moderators,
Yes, hi.
just showed up. So, or maybe you've been here earlier. I missed you. I actually, last week I missed somebody because we have 3 moderators, Jesse, Tiffany, and Randy. And I forgot one of you when I was signing off. So thank you, all 3 of you, for allowing me to do my work on other parts of the YouTube here. Let me scroll.
Jesse says, do cats count? Absolutely. Furry babies count. That means you're a mama.
Oh, Fooly Julie's wondering, what are we watching? We're going back and catching up on Homeland because we
stopped. So our daughter got pregnant with twins like 2 years ago, and became like couch ridden. She wasn't necessarily in bed, but she was couch ridden, and from like 6 weeks on. And so our life we stopped doing everything we were doing, and we were watching Homeland, and we stopped watching Homeland. So now we've gone back and
we're on. There's 8 seasons, and we're on season 4.
Yeah. So we're watching Homeland.
And we were behind already.
Well, we had gotten a late start.
Originally we stopped because it was too stressful.
You were stressed out from.
So I said, I don't need that right now. So I said, but now it's really interesting. So whatever was bothering me then isn't now.
Yeah. So we're watching that, and then what's the name of the one that we were watching last night? The playlist.
Zoe's playlist.
Zoe's playlist.
Yeah, it's comedic. It's comedy, but they're dealing with real people, love and life, and illness issues. So,
and throwing in
and we had like
music.
4 or 5 of them saved up in the record queue. But then Chef AJ told us last week that the last episode was really, really good. One of the best shows she's seen recently on TV. So now we went back and we watched a couple of episodes in the last 3 days, and watch another one tonight, most likely. So
and then Killing Eve. There's the 2nd season of Killing Eve, and we just started watching that. And
that's a strange show. That's a strange show, but very entertaining.
Yeah. And then Mrs. America.
We started that. I'm tolerating it.
Okay.
Okay. So that answers that question mostly.
And it's all about the it's all about the ERA. So the Equal Rights Amendment and all the stuff that was going on and playing into that. So it's actually very good. So I've been enjoying it.
Okay.
So that's what we've been watching.
Truth Lakes house situation in USA, all over the place, I will say. If you're talking about the COVID virus, we're in California. Things are pretty stable here as they go. We wear our face masks and gloves when we go get our weekly groceries. We've been shocked at how many people don't wear face masks. We think that is...
and it depends on where you shop, too, because Costco requires a face mask, and they're passing out face masks to people who don't have them at the door, and you can't enter unless you have them. But the other day when we were shopping, some lady, after she got inside, took hers off, and that really frustrated me. And then at Whole Foods, everyone's wearing them at Whole Foods, and they're passing them out at the door if you are in line and don't have one, because they're also limiting how many people can shop in a store at one time. And so you stand in line and you wait for someone to come out. When somebody comes out, then they let somebody else in. And I had to go over to Safeway the other day because I forgot to buy the spinach at Costco when we were at Costco, and then we had gone to Whole Foods, and Whole Foods didn't have fresh cilantro. So I went over to our local Safeway store, and I was so disgusted because I wore a mask and I saw 3 other people wearing a mask, and none of the other customers had masks on. And the store was very, very busy. And all of the employees had masks on. And when I was checking out, I said to the cashier, I'm really upset that so many people are in this store without masks. And she said, I know. I said, I don't understand it. And she said, I don't get it either. So I'm not going to go back to Safeway because, I'm wearing the mask to protect other people in case I'm
unknowingly
a carrier. And I would expect the same respect to come from them. So I found that just
Troubling,
yeah, very troubling. So I told Tom, we're not going back to Safeway because that was horrible.
So far as lockdown in state of California, we're still, most
Sheltering in place.
Shelter in place. Only essential businesses are open. Our malls are closed. No haircut salons are open. Nail salons are closed. So the lockdown is still pretty much in place, except for food outlets, electronic supplies.
They're letting a few like small businesses, like floral shops, were allowed to open on Friday, and
delivery, pickup,
curbside pickup, and so people aren't going in the store.
And a lot of restaurants are doing curbside pickup as well.
And our restaurants are doing curbside pickup. So
okay. All right. There's a question. Besides batch prepping and cooking, what habit contributes most to your success? I'm going to put that in context of continued lost weight.
Well, just to be able to maintain this lifestyle, I'd say, and maintain weight loss is having a clean environment. And so we only keep food here that that's healthy.
And
that we can
I heard
eat.
that conversation a bazillion times from this lady, Chef AJ, author of The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. And she was the one that was on the diet. I just was eating the food. And I've said to you guys before, she went on this program with Chef AJ and I lost 30 pounds. And I didn't do anything but eat the food that was here to eat. So I didn't earn that weight loss, but there were some environmental things that I learned from that. And so it had a profound effect. Environmental management had a profound effect on me. The things that I moved out to my cabinet in the garage, flour-based pastas and things, because Tami didn't want them in her environment, but asked me to move them to this closed cabinet. I put them out there, and then I promptly forgot about them and also didn't eat them and lost weight. So, yeah.
And then you didn't, after not having them for a while, you didn't covet eating them anymore either.
You're not in the mindset of wanting to, except for the Mary's crackers.
You do like those.
Yeah.
I do like those too.
So anyway.
So keeping a clean environment. And we're able to do that because it's just the two of us. Now we do keep some higher fat foods around that we don't eat. So, well, you do sometimes have peanut butter, but we keep some natural peanut butter on hand for when the grandkids are here. And we have, like some organic cereal for our granddaughter and soy milk. So we keep some things like that around, but that we don't eat, but things that she will want if she's here. But our deal is, the deal I've made with myself is, if I get into something that is for her that starts to be a problem for me, then I can't keep it here. And so that's my deal. And that kind of helps me stay out of the stuff that's for her, because I don't want to not have things here for her. And, there's nothing wrong with peanut butter and, some of the higher fat foods. It's just that I can't eat them and maintain my healthy weight. And so that we just, I think environment is super, super important. And I kind of poo-pooed it when Chef AJ and Jean-Pierre were first teaching us about it in the Ultimate Weight Loss class, because I had kind of bought into the idea that, you should be able to eat everything in moderation. But as time went on, I learned, that is so not true, because there are certain foods that some people just cannot eat in moderation, because we get too big of a dopamine hit from them. And then our brain starts craving and asking for more. And, no willpower is going to be able to sustain overriding that desire for a long period of time. So, because willpower runs out. So environment, always having food prepared environment, and not going back and dipping your toes into the way that you used to eat.
The little samples, because that re-triggers everything.
It re-triggers everything.
Question from Jamie Rice, which was earlier here. Where do you get your bulk oat groats?
Well, we were buying them before the pandemic. Our Whole Foods had organic oat groats, and that's where we were buying them. And of course, since the pandemic, they've closed down the bulk foods, and they are taking the things that they used to have in the bulk foods and pre-packaging them, except for not the oat groats, because there weren't not enough people buying them. And so we did just order some off of Amazon, and I'll have Tom go in and add those to our Amazon page, because it was really difficult to find a source for them, to find organic ones. The ones that I ordered also happen to be certified gluten-free and organic. And I haven't tried them yet because I still have just a little bit left in my freezer of the bulk ones from Whole Foods. So we'll add it to our Amazon store after we're done with the video, because right now I can't remember the brand name. But just remember, I haven't tried them yet, but they were recommended to me by my friend Sharon McRae, and she's the one that taught me how to make them in the Instant Pot. And so because I was having difficulty finding any, I did text her and asked her if she had a source for them, and she said, well, this brand, and it was actually sold out on Amazon when I ordered them, but it had a date, like, in 10 days or something, they were going to have more and be able to ship them. And so, the last time I looked, they were sold out again. But those are really difficult to find. It's difficult to find a source for organic ones.
Do you remember how much you're paying per pound?
I don't remember.
It was from Jesse.
Now, they did tell me, we talked to the manager of the bulk foods at Whole Foods last week, I think it was, and she said she can order a 25-pound bag. That is the smallest quantity that she could have ordered for us. And so I said, well, I didn't really want to have to store 25 pounds, because 25 pounds would be a good big size bag.
I could freeze them. I could freeze them.
You could.
I mean, it's a staple food for you.
Yeah.
It might take you half a year to eat them, but I can freeze them up.
Yeah, if you could.
So
if we continue to have trouble finding them, then that is an option. Because she said she could still order them, but I would have to take the whole 25-pound bag.
Yeah. Let's see. Jesse's currently buying hers from Purcell Mountain Farms, but it's over $5 per pound. But I don't know how that compares to other sources. They are delicious.
Oh, I don't think I was paying $5 per pound.
No, it wasn't that much. No.
2 something maybe.
Yeah.
Like
did I buy you some on Amazon? Did I buy some on Amazon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me look real quick. I'm going to give you this next question. What's your favorite recipe of everything on your blog? If you had to pick one. The cheese sauce question mark. So you can talk about favorite
And then
recipe.
this person wants to know, when you went shopping this week, were you able to purchase everything you needed, or are there still shortages of some
That's Michael,
items?
yeah.
Oh, Michael.
So I'm going to go look at how much we pay for oat groats.
It varies from week to week. They're usually out of something. Like, I haven't been able to get Persian cucumbers. There was like 3 to 4 weeks that, we couldn't find shredded carrots, which, we can shred our own. Baby kale. It's been difficult to find baby kale. We usually like to buy a big, like 1 pound of the baby kale, because we like that in our salads. And they haven't had that since the pandemic started. It's just been different things, different weeks. That's it.
Do you have that bag?
Yeah, I do. I think it's in here on the floor.
So 5 pounds was $17.92. That's a lot less than $5 a pound.
Yeah. So we bought 5 pounds for $17.92.
Where'd you say it is?
I may not have put it in here yet.
Oh, I'm not. I found the quinoa.
Oh, you know what? It's in the bulk stuff in the garage.
Okay.
Over on the shelves, where we buy a 25-pound bag of oats. So it varies from week to week. Like, there's been some weeks where they've not had Japanese sweet potatoes. There's been some weeks where there hasn't been any Yukon Gold potatoes. So, you know, it's different. Oh, for a while we buy these artisan heads of romaine. They're called artisan heads. And, you know, there was like a month where we couldn't find those. So it just seems like it's different stuff every week. And this past week, it was cilantro was difficult to find.
But we got shredded carrots back. So here's the oat groats. So that was
There you go.
$17.92, this bag.
So what's that work out per pound? Here, you can use my calculator.
My phone is up there. So
I was going to say.
I can't help you with that in my head.
Here, you can do the calculator. So yeah, so it varies from week to week.
$3.58 a pound. So that's not cheap, but they
not
go a
cheap.
long ways.
Yeah.
Oh, she already $3.75. Yeah.
And so, can you add those to our Amazon page?
I will add those to the Amazon page. I leave them out there. So
Okay. So there was another question.
Um,
So I do store the oat groats in the freezer because, you know, the grains that are whole that haven't been processed, highly processed, can go rancid. And so I just store those grains in the freezer then.
The garage
So
fridge.
when we open up a big bag of brown rice, then we store it in the freezer once
part of
it's
that
been
too is to
opened.
keep the pantry moths out of them too.
Yes. And so,
Not that we had that once.
We did have
15 or
it
20
once. Mm-hmm.
years ago, but then we.
Oh, favorite recipe on the blog. You know, that's like saying, who's your favorite child? And I don't have a favorite child. You know, there might be one day that one's your favorite because their behavior is better than the other. Or it's like asking, you know,
It would
which
have
of
to be
your...
by category.
Yeah, it would have to be by category.
Yeah, because like by soup, and then like baked dish would be the lasagna.
Yeah.
Condiment would be the cheese.
Yeah, so for a sauce or a condiment, absolutely the Chipotle nacho cheese sauce is hands down our favorite.
Soup would be the
like condiment.
cauliflower.
And I
dish.
usually make that every week because we like it. And I divide it into two containers, one for Tom and one for me.
Is cauliflower bisque yours or Chef AJ's?
Cauliflower bisque is Chef AJ's,
Yeah.
and so that's a favorite. And, you know, I wasn't feeling good for a couple days, so yesterday I made a big pot of the cauliflower bisque because I had cauliflower. I also love the curry ginger butternut squash soup that is my recipe that you get when you subscribe to the blog. That's one of the 2 recipes you get for free. And I love that soup, and I love it when I'm not feeling well. But I didn't have butternut squash yesterday, but I had cauliflower, so I made AJ's soup. Ooh, I wonder if I could make AJ's. I wonder if I could use cauliflower instead of butternut squash for my soup, but use those same flavorings.
I don't know.
And use the cauliflower instead of the...
Maybe you can Google that and find out.
No, I have to try it.
Okay.
And I love the po nachos, which is the potato nachos, and I eat those a lot because that's really filling.
Nachos to her is like my air fried corn chips is to me. That's our 2 favorite side crispy crunchy snacks.
And then the Alfredo sauce, the vegan Alfredo sauce, I love that over vegetables and over potatoes and with the
that
zucchini.
is so wonderfully flavorful
It
too. It's
is.
got such a pizzazz of flavor.
Yeah, and it's almost, I mean, you can almost use it like gravy. It is so good. So you know, just depends on your mood. I'm not good at when people say pick one thing. I'm just not good at that.
Who's your favorite husband?
Well, you.
That was a good fast answer. Okay.
Hey, I've got too many years of training in that you can't go anywhere.
Okay. There is a question about. Kathy Benson's suggesting you can split the bag of oat groats with someone near you.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
as
know.
difficult as these are to come by, we should hoard them.
Okay.
If we score a 25-pound bag, we should hoard it.
I don't know anyone else here that eats the oat
In the
groats
local
like I do.
Plant-based community, no.
I don't know of anybody. I mean, there might be, but I don't know of anybody. But we do have freezer space. We could, you know, we could break it
Good
up
night,
into
Barb.
smaller.
It's 9 o'clock in Kentucky. Barb's got to go.
Oh, bye, Barb. Thank you
Okay.
for joining us.
Let's see. Yeah, Gina's got 25-pound bag of steel
Steel
cut
cut
oats, and
oats.
you have 2 5-pound bags of those out there.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, another thing that we have found is the quinoa flakes for the quinoa banana oat muffins, because Whole Foods, whoops, sorry,
Oops,
honey.
you
Whole
bashed
Foods,
me.
I know, I'm sorry. Whole Foods ran out of those too. And so we found these on Amazon. And so I use these instead of grinding the quinoa myself. I really like the convenience of using the quinoa flakes. And so they've just made these like how rolled oats have been pressed. That's what they do with the quinoa. And so it makes quinoa flakes. And so I use these, and that's super convenient too. But Whole Foods had stopped carrying them for a while. I did notice the other day that they had quinoa flakes back on the shelf, a different brand, not this brand. But these are great. I love them.
Do you have a favorite way to cook Swiss chard? This is from Randy Dolan.
Yeah, I like to, well, one of two things. Either use it as a wrap, and so you can just lightly steam them, or you can leave them totally raw. You can use a rolling pin and roll the rolling pin over the stem to break it up so that it will be not so stiff, so they'll roll. Or you can just cut it out with a knife, trim it, cut it out with a knife, and you can stuff it with hummus and vegetables. I had them the other day. I made chard wraps and put a chickpea salad that I had made in there, and that was delicious. Or you can just de-stem them. You just hold it in your hand like you've probably seen Ann Esselstyn do, and just pull the stem off so that you just get the greens, and then saute either onion or a shallot, and then add a little bit of fresh garlic and whatever kind of seasoning that you like. When we were at True North, Chef Ramsay threw in a little bit of curry when he was doing it, and then throw in your Swiss chard. And I like to mix it with like spinach or baby kale or whatever other vegetables I have. You can throw mushrooms in it and then throw it in. And if you like salt, Swiss chard has a naturally is higher in sodium, and it will give the dish a nice salty flavor. And then just, you don't even usually have to add water, because if the leaves have a little bit of moisture on them from you washing them, that's really all you need. Put a lid on the pan, let it kind of steam. It's delicious. Or you can chop it up really kind of finely and throw it into soup or stew or chili. And it will add a nice salty taste.
Randy says...
and you can add a little bit of fruit too. You can throw in a little bit of pineapple or a little bit of apple if you want, or peaches are coming into season. You can do some peaches.
endless possibilities.
Yeah, endless possibilities.
Yeah.
I
Gina,
think he's trying to cut me off.
I was doing that tactfully. Randy
were.
says thank you
You're welcome.
to you and to Gina for your answers.
Yeah.
Is your freezer in your house or in your garage? I heard you say on another live that you lost a lot in your freezer. Was it due to the California power outage, or did you have to replace the freezer? Lori, it broke.
The refrigerator broke.
The refrigerator broke, and so we lost the stuff in the freezer. Now, years before, the freezer died, and we went and bought the new one. And I think we caught that in time to
an
save.
upright freezer did.
So we did lose some stuff in the upright. So that's happened twice, but they're both in the garage, just outside the laundry room door.
Yeah, we have it's an older video, so it was the old refrigerator that we had out there. But we have a video, it's a refrigerator pantry tour video that we did months ago. And take a look at it. But it was our old refrigerator that we had in the garage.
Yeah, so if
then.
you go to our channel and do search channels pantry tour, it'll probably come up and you can find it that way.
And we show you how full our freezer was at that time.
The situation here is this sad. We have a newer garage fridge because the old one died, in our regular freezer in the garage.
Which isn't that old either.
Okay, but our old refrigerator, the old one, is actually out in my shop beside the house in a
And
separate
is it
building.
30 years old?
Yeah.
We've been here 20. No, it's probably
Moved here in
97. It's 20, at least 23 years old, but we had it in the old house. So we bought it when we moved in there, and we lived there for like 9 years.
That was in 89.
So it's probably 30 years old.
It's 30 years old. And I keep it on just barely on, and it's our root cellar because it runs at like 47, 48 degrees, which is the perfect temperature to keep all of our potatoes that we buy from growing eyes and roots and stuff.
But we just
So-
recently started doing that.
Yeah. So anyway, so it's the root cellar. I had it in there turned off just for storage, and I did some research and found out the best way to store potatoes was at that temperature setting in a dark place. Well,
Tell them again the temperature setting.
45 to 55 degrees in a dark place, dry. So there's nothing else in there, just the potatoes.
And it's working great. So, a couple weeks.
But who's going to have the old refrigerator still? That's pretty rare.
It is.
It's
So
just a fluke here.
it is. It's a fluke.
we didn't
and
have
when that dies, then we won't have
If
that.
we didn't have the shed, I wouldn't have the old refrigerator in there.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
okay.
But it is working because they're not growing eyes, and the potatoes are lasting a lot longer,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
And Barry asked, do we have any recommendations for organic recipes? Tammy buys organic whenever we can. If we can't find organic, we still buy the fruit or the vegetables so that we have the nourishment from that.
Yeah, so
So-
any recipe can be, if you're talking about the fruits and vegetables and the ingredients you're using being organic, any recipe can be organic if the
Yeah,
ingredients that you're using are organic. But all of the
These
plant-
are organic.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yes, these are organic.
That was a question.
Yeah, and you can add
From
these.
Jamie.
Tom can add these to our Amazon store. And I went ahead and bought 4 bags of them because they're hard to find locally. But all of the plant-based doctors say, whether you can get organic fruit and vegetables or not, eat the fruit and vegetables because it's better to eat them even if they are conventionally grown than if you are, thinking that you can only have organic. So even, especially right now when things are a little more difficult to find, even if we can't get organic, we're going ahead and buying the produce that we would normally eat just so we won't, it's better to eat the conventionally grown than to go off your whole food plant-based diet.
We're losing power over there, so we better finish up real quick here. Let me check the questions here. Our freezer in the garage is an upright with shelves. Lori, what's the
And we
question?
just have, we have a lot of the the beautiful Longaberger baskets. And so we're just putting the potatoes in the baskets and then setting the baskets inside that refrigerator.
Lori said she saw Dylan's pantry tour and his clean. He put everything out.
Yes.
Everything out.
He purged
to redo his pantry. He had discoveries of what was in there. So.
Our Bob's Red Mill Oat Groats Organic. You have to go on their website. They do have some organic, but the last time I looked, they were out of stock, and I think they weren't getting them back in until June, because I did go to their website because I thought, I'll just order direct from Bob's Red Mill. And they have some organic, and they have some that are not organic, and the organic were sold out the last time that I checked.
Okay. Foolie Julie is signing off. She's got to go assemble dinner. So thank you for being here. Everyone else, thank you for being here. Thank you to Jesse, Randy, and Tiffany for being moderators and taking care of silly trolls.
We appreciate that so much.
I learned that phrase from Brian Kroc from Crocs in the Kitchen, because we had a dialogue with him about managing trolls, and that was before I signed up Randy and Tiffany and Jesse to help with that. And he says that he just considers trolls to be silly. They're just such silly trolls that they take time to be trolls, that it's just really laughable, I guess, that they feel a need to be trolls. It's silly.
I think with everything that's going on in the world, why are they spending their time doing that? But, whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, ladies, thank you for helping out.
Thank you, our little troll
posse.
Our troll posse. We really appreciate you guys jumping in and helping with us. It makes it so much easier for Tom, because then Tom can participate more, which is really nice.
Yeah.
So I hope you all had a wonderful Mother's Day, and we appreciate that you're spending your valuable time hanging out with us. That it's so awesome. We have the best subscribers, so it just makes me really happy, and we love hearing from you. So if you have thoughts or ideas or questions or comments,
Send them to email or to Facebook.
Email's probably better.
Yeah, easier
so
to spot.
Either Tami or Tom at nutmegnotebook.com, and we will collect up your questions and try to answer them
on the next
live, which should be on Sunday, next Sunday, at 4 p.m. Pacific time.
And I usually do get the feed thumbnail up earlier in the day, but today was different since we were out playing. So
it was. And we did a lot of filming a couple weeks ago, so we have a lot of new recipes.
A couple more videos to come out soon. Yeah.
It's just Tom's busy doing
I gotta build the
projects
wall
outside. He's building a wall for our tomato plant.
There we go.
Okay, now we're back. Okay.
The phone is saying the camera is the
camera
phone is low battery.
Okay, so the camera.
Well, I'll clip that out of the feed after it's up.
Okay, technical glitch. They're saying, yeah. So
but,
it was.
But the microphone battery is flashing red, so we do need to say our goodbye.
Okay. Well, it was great, you guys. Thanks so much. If you like this, please give us a thumbs up. It helps our ratings. Subscribe and click on the bell. Go over to Nutmeg Notebook and subscribe there, and we'll see you next week.
Did you say thumbs up?
Thumbs up, yeah.
Okay.
Give us a thumbs up.
And
I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you get healthy and stay healthy one meal at a time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys. We'll see you next week, or on Facebook. We're on all the social media platforms.